Hey everyone, it's Stacy from My Petite Garden. Today's video will be a sort of collective haul. I've acquired quite a few new Hoyas over the past couple of months, so I figured I could put together a video for you. Some of these were purchases from Facebook groups, and some were given to me from my friend. So let's get into it. Now, quite a few of the plants were shipped to me, and since it is the middle of winter here and temperatures were pretty low, I did have concerns about shipping, but luckily all the sellers packaged their plants really well insulated, and I did add heat packs whenever I can and remember to do so. That way I didn't actually have any issues with cold damage. This first order that we're opening up now is an order of 2 plants. One of them is mine and then the other is my friend's, so I'm going to open the one that's mine with you guys. The Hoya that I got is actually an unrooted top cutting of the seller's Hoya elliptica. I love the way the Hoya elliptica looks. I actually had one of these before, but I killed it, so we're giving it another try. I was a little bit concerned with the color of the foliage when I first took the cutting out of the box, but nothing to worry about. It's just, I think, from shipping and because it is an unrooted cutting, it just needed a little bit of time to rehab, and it really bounced back very quickly. This footage was taken maybe about a month ago, so I'll show you guys what it looks like now a little bit later on in this video. I like to root my Hoyas in water, and I've had pretty good luck rooting them in water, so that's what I did with this cutting, and it actually started rooting in under a week. This is what the cutting looks like about a month later. You can see the root system is pretty robust and growing very fast. You can also see there at the very top there are 2 new leaves emerging, and they look very promising. Alright, so we are on to our second order that we're going to be opening up in this video. This is another Hoya, and again, very well insulated and packaged. I did have a heat pack with this one. This is a gorgeous sun-stressed Hoya Kalina. I've actually been looking for a Hoya Kalina for a pretty long time, so I'm so glad I finally found one that I think I want to purchase. And this one just happens to be already sun-stressed, so hopefully I can keep this happy and keep this sun-stressed. I'm not sure, it is the middle of winter, so we'll see. This next Hoya here is the Hoya by Kensis. This is another round-leaved Hoya. This one is splashy. I'm not sure yet what causes it to be more or less splashy on the foliage, but I guess we'll find out. And I think the appeal for me is that it's round-leaved and also it's splashy. It resembles the Galena a little bit as well. And with most of the plants that are shipped out to me, I usually don't repot them until at least a couple of weeks later, sometimes maybe even a month, unless I feel like it's absolutely necessary that I repot it as soon as I can. Then I usually just leave it the way it is until I feel that it is ready to be repotted without suffering any sort of shock. So this next Hoya that I'm opening up is a Hoya Vertisolata Silver Splash, I believe it was called. When I purchased this Hoya, I had a feeling I was going to propagate it because it's actually just one long vine, and the way it's growing, it's kind of gnarly looking, not very attractive. So I ended up actually chopping it up after I received it. It actually did not come with any substrate. It just was placed in the pot, but with no soil or anything like that. They shipped it without any soil, which I knew already, so I was prepared. And that's why I actually ended up propagating it right away, because it wasn't in anything. As you can see, the leaves are just absolutely gorgeous. Unfortunately, one of the more, I guess, splashier leaves actually got damaged. So I'm not sure what happened to it, but it's pretty much bent in half, and I ended up having to remove that part that's floppy. So after I made the chop, this is what the top cutting looks like. And now I have to decide what I want to do with this bottom cutting, because it is ready rooted. It does have some pretty decent roots. However, it is growing in a really just weird, twisted way, and I'm trying to think of the future and how I want it to grow, and I really don't like that 90-degree angle that you see there on the stem. So I think I might propagate that as well. So here I am, initially thinking to just pot this up in a potting mix. So I started that process, but then as I started potting it up, I realized I just really did not like the way it was growing with that little angle there on the stem. So I ended up taking the second route, which is to chop it off at a point where it's growing normally and I can just stick it in water and see if it will root. So in this order, there's a total of 3 plants, or 3 Hoyas, and one of them is my friend's and 2 of them are mine. My friend and I both got the same Hoya, but 2 different specimens. But I am going to open everything up for you guys. So this first one here is one of mine. This is the Hoya Leii, I believe that's how it's pronounced. It is a fuzzy, small-leafed Hoya. These next 2 plants are the same Hoya, and one of them is for myself and one of them is for my friend. They are the Hoya Sigilatus Borneo, and they look very similar to the regular Sigilatus. However, the leaves are much shorter and rounder. So in other words, it's a little bit cuter. And this first specimen here is the one that I ended up keeping. And then the one after this was the one that my friend decided to keep. These next few plants are from a local plant friend. These first two that are unwrapped are for myself, and then there's one that's not unwrapped, and that one is for another friend of mine. So they are all Hoya Crafty Patiolatas. The first one here is the regular green one, and then the other two, as you see here, are the splash version. And I think they're really pretty. I actually really love the splash on the one that my friend picked out. And then this one here is the Hoya Parviflora Splash. This one is also one that I got for myself. It's a really big full specimen, but I might end up chopping the longer vine and making an even fuller plant at some point. Right now I'm just keeping it the way it is, and I think it's just such a beautiful Hoya. And before I end this video, I just wanted to share with you guys some gorgeous new pots that got sent to me from Atrium Pottery, based out in South Korea. Their pots are absolutely stunning. The quality and the detail, it's just so beautiful. So if you guys are big fans of terracotta pots like I am myself, I highly recommend you check them out. And that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.